Hey everyone! Today we're going to go over practicing clapping and identifying those notes that we've been practicing before, except this time we're adding some eighth notes in there. So let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is remind ourselves of all these notes. It should be easy, but again, I just feel like it's good to go over it since we're adding a new note. So we have a quarter note that we know is worth one beat, right? So I'll put that in there. We know that's worth one beat. We have our half note, which is worth 2 beats, right? And then we have our eighth notes. So this should be easy. I think we should know this already, but I'm gonna go over it again just in case I have any friends that haven't seen this before. So really quickly, these are called eighth notes. I'm gonna write that in there really quickly. So eighth notes. Now eighth notes, 2 of them together are worth 1 beat. So I want you to think about that real quick. So as we go over these, each of these 2 together are worth 1. So if we were to put them by themselves, it would look like this, like it has a tail, right? If it's completely by itself, it's actually only worth half of a beat. So each eighth note is worth half of a beat. So if you think about it, you have a cookie, right? Terribly drawn cookie. You have 2 of these, right? And you cut it in half. So I'm going to draw the 2 eighth notes here. So you have 1 whole cookie. It equals 1 beat, 1 whole cookie, right? So if we split it in half, right? We wanted to split it in half with our friend. So I'm going to draw that cookie again, except it's going to be not as pretty as the first one. All right, so chocolate chip cookie. Here we go. Ready? Now, 1 beat, half a beat. I hope that makes sense. So really quickly, let's try it. So we have half of a beat and half of a beat equals 1 beat, right? So if you had 50 cents and 50 cents, it would make $1. Same kind of idea or concept. So let's try to get this going here. So I'm going to have us identify the letter names of the notes as well after this, but I want to focus on the numbering of them first. So what I'm going to have us do is take a look at where all the eighth notes are. So normally when we count them off, each of these are worth 1 beat. So we have, I'm going to put them up here. So we have 1, 2, 3, kind of hard to see, sorry about that. And then we have 4, but we know that 2 of them are worth 1 beat, but we have to also account for this one when we're counting out loud, right? So I add a plus sign, like math, except we just say and. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and. I'm going to clap that out for you here in just a second, and then we'll try it together. It goes like this. So I'll clap it for you, and then I'm going to snap after that and have you clap with me. So the first measure looks like this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, so I'm going to point to the note and then snap, and I want you to clap along with me. Okay, I'll count you off. So 1, 2, ready, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So again, my snapping's not as loud as clapping, but I hope you heard it. So let's try to go to the next one. So we know that we have half notes worth 2 beats, right? So I'm going to put the 1 and the 2 together, and then the 3 and the 4 together, because you know they're worth 2 beats each, right? So now what I'm going to have us do is we're going to try to put the first measure and second measure together, okay? So let's try it. So 1, 2, ready, and. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Hopefully that's not too confusing so far. What I'm going to do next is identify the rest of them. So we have 1, we know is 1 beat, right? 2, oh, we're back to the eighth notes. So we have 3, we know it's worth 1 whole beat, but we have to account for that note, right? So I put and. And then the last one, 4. So let's do this one together, ready? So I'll clap it and then I'll snap it and have you do it. So clapping, listening first. So we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so try that with me. Ready, and go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now I'm gonna have us do the beginning to the end here, what we've done so far. So I'll snap it out and I'll have you clap it. Ready? So 1, 2, ready, and go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. How'd you do so far? Hopefully it's not too difficult. So let's keep going. So I'm gonna have us count this out. So we go 1, 2, and then we have 3, worth 1 beat, right? 4. Let's do a few more. So we have 1. We know this is a full beat together, right? So 2. We have to account for that one. And 3, 4, and same deal. So just the way we had to do the 2 and, because we had to account for that note, same thing here, 4 and. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one by itself, then I'm gonna do this one by itself, and then we're gonna put it together. So let's do this one first. So 1, 2, ready, and clap. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm gonna have us do this one. I'll count you off. 1, 2, ready, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. So make sure you're clapping on each one. The 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay, so let's try to put this together. Ready? So 1, 2, clap and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. How'd you do? All right, now let's try to do it from the very beginning all the way through, and then we only have a few more after that and we're done. Okay, so let's try it. 1, 2, ready, and go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 beats. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Hopefully we're doing all right so far. All right, let's keep going. So we have 1 beat, 2, which is where the 1 beat. We have 2 beats here, so I'm going to put 3 and 4 together. Then we have quarter note. 1, 2, 3. Same thing as the last one, right? 4 and 4 and. Okay. And then I'm going to add this last one too, just because it's similar to this one. So let's try it. Ready? So we have 1. Same thing as this one. 2. And then again, same thing. 3, 4. I'm going to put the 3 and the 4 together. Okay? Now, let's try to see if we could do these together. So I'll do this one first, then this one, and then this one. And then we'll put all 3 together. So this one first. So 1, 2, clap and count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool? Now let's do the next one. Ready? So 1, 2, ready, and go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Make sure you clap twice on that one, the 4 and. All right, let's do the last one. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's do all 3, then we'll do the whole thing from the beginning. So 1, 2, ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd you do? All right, now let's try to see if we could do the whole thing from the very beginning all the way to the end here, and then we'll identify the notes and be done. Okay, so clap it along with me. So ready, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you do? I hope we did well, and I hope it wasn't too fast or too confusing for you. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know and I'll try to explain it. Now, let's try to identify the letter names of all of these notes, now that we got the hang of clapping all that rhythm stuff out. So here we go, ready? So quick reminder, we say on the lines, we go every good boy does fine. And then we have in the space, it spells F-A-C. Woohoo, we got our answer, E. So let's write that in there, C. Okay, so let's go from there. So we have C. We go down a step to B. Down a step to A. And we're going down again to G, right? Same note here, G. So again, let's identify this next one. So we have F, A. We know that's our answer, right? And then we know on the lines, every good, right? Then we go down a step to F. Same note. If you want to identify them by spaces or lines, that's fine. Or if you want to reference it by the notes that you use too, that's fine too. So if you were to reference it, you'd go down a step to E. If you were counting it out, you'd say every good boy does fine. All right, same note. Woohoo! Nice and easy. I love it when it's the same. Awesome. All right, now we're moving down one. So that one is not on the line. Technically, it's a space. It's hard to tell when it's hanging on the line like that, or hanging underneath it, but we got drippy D. I like to call it drippy D. It's like a teardrop falling. All right, now we have a line through it, and it's not in any of these. Remember, hopefully we know this already, middle C. We've done it before, but it's been a little while, so let's keep going. So let's do this next one, D. We go up a step to E, and woohoo, these two are the same. All right, then we move up a step. So the first space is F, and woohoo, we have some more repeating notes. You will see this in music. It happens all the time. Now we go up a step to G, or every good, right? Woohoo, same note. I love repeating notes. Then we go up to A, or F-A-C-E, right? Then we go down a step to G. We got a gag in there. All right, now add another G, because it's the same note. Up a step to A, down a step to G. Oh, we got another gag in there. 2 gags in a row, gag, gag. All right, now down a step to F. And then our last 3 notes, E, D, right? Drippy D, like a teardrop. And C, middle C. Everybody should know middle C. Alrighty, friends. Good job. Okay, so now I'm going to have us do the next exercise where we count them out the same way we did before, and then we have one more new thing in there that we haven't done yet as well. So 2 new things today. So let's go over the next thing that we need to pay attention to. So this squiggly crazy line right here is a rest. So a rest. I'm going to draw that out there. So not the best drawing, but you get the idea. So this note, or this rest, is called a quarter rest. For any of my friends who may not have learned this with me before, or you have not had me last year. So quarter rest. Each quarter rest is worth 1 beat. Okay? So whenever we see that, we will not clap and not make any sound. So if we were singing, we would stop singing. If we were clapping, we stop clapping. A rest just means no sound. So let's try to go over this here. So let's clap this out and identify them. So let's start here. So we know that's 1, worth 1 full beat. So we do 2 and we have 3. And let's keep going here. So 1, 2, and 3. Notice how they're exactly the same. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we have another repeating pattern. Same thing. 1. We have 2 and 3. And then we have a half note, right, which we know is worth 2 beats. So I'm going to put the 1 and the 2 together. And then rest. I'm going to write 3 over the rest, but we definitely need to remember we don't make any sound. So let's try that. Okay, now I'm going to go through these 3 first, and then we'll add that one in there here in just a bit. So let's try it. So I'm going to start here, and we're going to do it 3 times in a row because it's the exact same pattern. So ready? 1, 2, 3, clap, and count. So 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, I misspoke a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is add this in there. So if we do this one by itself, we go 1, 2, 3. We don't make any sound. So it's almost like you held it for 3, but we didn't, right? So let's try it. So we're gonna go from the beginning to here. So 1, 2, 3, ready, and clap. So 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, rest. How'd you do so far? Hopefully it's not too confusing, and I hope we're getting the hang of this thing. Lots of stuff to learn today. So next up, check it out. The pattern is exactly the same. Woohoo! I love when that happens. So it's kind of like giving us the answers. So check it out. Ready? 1, same thing. 2, and then we've got 3. Same deal. 1, 2, and 3. And then do it with me. Ready? Say it out loud. 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully that's nice and easy. And we have this note. We've done that for a while, but quick reminder, draw that over here. So we have a dotted half note. That dotted half note is worth how much? Do you remember? Hopefully you remember that it's worth 3. Now, it's a half note worth 2. The dot adds half of the value. We talked about it before, but just reviewing. So the dot adds half of the value of the 2 beats for a half note. So 2 plus that half of 2, which is 1, and that equals 3. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay? Now, if that's confusing to you and you're not sure how the dotted note is the way it is or why it's worth 3, let me know and I'll try to explain that to you. Now, we do know it's worth 3, so I'm going to write that in there. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put them real close together because they're all in that same beat. Okay, now what I'm going to have us do is go from here to here, and then we're going to go all the way from the beginning until the end and be done with the counting, and then we'll add in the notes the way we did here, and then we'll be completely done. So let's try it from here. So I'll count you off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and clap. So 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. So make sure you only clap on that beat 1 there, okay? All right, now let's try to do the whole thing from the beginning until the end. I'm gonna go a little slower because we have a lot of notes to go over there, even though it is repeating a lot. So ready? So 1, 2, 3, clap and count. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Half note. 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. How'd you do? Hopefully it's not too confusing. Alrighty, now let's try to do the identifying of the notes, and then we're done for the whole exercise. So we have a lot of repeating notes, which makes it a little bit easier. So we remember, if you reference all the other notes we use, or you just remember, this is middle C, okay? Because we know that's not on any of the regular lines or spaces we're used to. So let's keep it going. Repeating notes, woohoo! All right, then we go up to our drippy D, teardrop, D, 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 woohoo! I love repeating notes. Then we have E, more repeating notes, and then we have F, then G, and rest. So no notes there. All right, now this one, same note here, G, right? And then let's go up a step to A, or if you're counting by space, F, A, C, E, A. Oh, we got another gag in there. Then we go down a step to F from G. Then we go, woohoo, repeating note. Love it. Back up to G. Back down to F, right? Down to E. Repeating note here. Up to F. Back down to E. Our drippy D. And then middle C. So if this is confusing at any point in the video, feel free to email me and I will try to go over it and have it hopefully make some sense, or a little bit more sense than it did before. Alrighty, friends. Thank you for participating with me and clapping along and identifying the notes with me and learning some new stuff. I'll see you next time.